Just hang on. If you're wondering what that was, they had it on while I was on the phone call. Everyone, if you can hear me right now, I made a major breakthrough on some of the stuff that I've been researching lately. And if you've seen the right frequency videos for parasites that is on my guide channel, this is what you need to do. You need to download the audio from those vids, and this is how you're going to be able to kill that stuff off with direct contact. What you need to do is make sure you have it downloaded, have it on the device, have the device completely cut off from the network, and have a network blocker so that they can't infiltrate the apps and mess with your phone or whatever it is you're using. You can use a tablet or a phone or whatever, it doesn't matter. Make sure you have innate state on there, because it's also going to be able to heal your cells with the radiational conversion ability that it has. Now, what I started to realize is that these nanobots or these parasites, they're literally right under the skin. So here's the 3 locations that you mainly want to target, because apparently around the hip section, right where the behind is, you want to have it there. All you got to do is just lay down on it, and what that's going to do when you're laying down, you can do this while you're asleep. You can do this while you're just relaxing or whatever. Just have that tone playing. Have it to where it's set on repeat. Have your phone screen turned off, and then just lay down on that. And then the frequency sound is going to be targeting the nanites, because the sound's going to basically be echoing along your body. And with that happening, it's killing it off slowly but surely. You're going to even feel this stuff start to move around when this happens, okay? So the 3 points you want to have this on is right where the behind is, right where the midsection of the back, and also the top section to where slightly to where the neck is connecting to the torso. You want to have it in those 3 locations, because here's the thing, it's originally originating in your torso and it's spreading out. But if you cut it off at its source, what this is going to do is help your immune system catch up, because it wants to slow that process down to prevent itself from being killed off. But if you target it from its source, from where it's originating at, which is your body, then you'll be able to easily take care of this. You want to do this towards both the back section, and then you can flip around and do this towards the front section. Again, download and extract the audio files from the vids that I've listed on my guide channel, only for right frequencies for parasites. You'll see them on there in the library listings. You want to do that, you want to have it on your device, you want to have the device disconnected from the network, and then you just want to play that, have the screen turned off so that it doesn't get interrupted, and have it on repeat. You want to make sure you also got a full battery when you do this. And again,
the next location you also want this on is your legs, because they will go there as well. Now, when you start to do this process, you will actually start to feel these things coming out from the feet.
Okay, got it set. Alright, good morning everyone. I'm going to do this video quite quick here, as best as I can. Some of the things you're going to need to know as far as treating yourself when it comes to this parasitic type infections. These are, pardon me, this, as you can see, is like 5:13 a.m. You can't really see the a.m. there, but it's pretty early in the morning. Anyway, 9 herbs that naturally kill parasites. There are many. Before I even get into this, again, I don't claim any copyright for this. This is just for people to be able to have and find more useful methods to actually deal with the effects of remote neuron monitoring. Because yes, this stuff is insect based, it is parasitic based, and this is pretty much how they have a lock onto you. If you get rid of this, then you get rid of the control and the effects of that control. But as you know, even with a fraction of the stuff like in your body can still cause somewhat of a reaction due to them basically making signal lights. So you already know you got it. You can't just get rid of a portion of them. You gotta get rid of all of them. That's basically the only way to actually free yourself from the effects of these weapons. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the article here. There are many powerful herbs that are used to treat parasitic infections, but before you start experimenting with remedies, read this to learn the best way to naturally kill parasites. Before we dive in, know that it is not advised to take any herbs unless you've been working with a professional, or even better, a functional medicine doctor with experience in parasitic infections. It's ideal if you have been practicing a holistic lifestyle for some time. That is because the first and most critical step for healing an infection is getting your immune system up and functioning optimally. From there, one of the very last steps is going to be experimenting with herbs to help this process. If you suspect you have an infection or are running a routine yearly cleanse, here are some of the best natural food and herbal remedies to naturally kill parasites. The best herbs and their benefits for fresh garlic. This might come as a surprise, but do not underestimate this common household herb. It is actually among the most effective herbs for ridding the body of any unwanted organism. Garlic is able to slow and kill over 60 types of fungus and 20 types of bacteria, as well as some of the most potent viruses. Garlic has a history of killing parasites, controlling secondary fungal infections, and if you're not aware, the issue with most of this stuff is that Candida and the Morgellon both are basically a form of a fungi that even when it's removed, it causes Lyme disease. But if you're able to use a lot of these remedies that I've been using myself, you'll be able to actually have more of a step of curing that. Or at least that's just my assumption, because parasites and controlling the secondary fungal infections. It also detoxifies while gently stimulating elimination and has antioxidant properties to protect against oxidation caused by parasite toxins. The active components in garlic that kill parasites are allicin and ajoin. These compounds can kill how do you pronounce that? Amoebas, including one-cell, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, including one-cell varieties, as well as pinworms and hookworms. Allicin is not present in garlic in its natural state. When garlic is chopped or otherwise damaged, the enzyme allicin acts on the chemical allicin, converts it into allicin. The active component contributes to its success for killing parasites. Okay, so that's one thing I wasn't doing. I'm glad I found out about that. So from now on, whenever I eat a garlic halve or half, I need to split it in two, and that'll be enough to get that working. To get the most out of garlic, be sure to use it crushed or juiced. Start off with 1 clove and work your way up to as many as you can stomach. Cucumber seeds. That's a new one. Cucumber seeds have been used as an all-natural treatment to remove tapeworms within the digestive tract. The powder of cucumber seeds can be used to treat tapeworms, but also consumed even if you do not have a parasite as a preventative measure. That is because cucumbers are also a vegetable. They are effective due to enzymes within the cucumber and seeds that kill tapeworms. Look for heirloom cucumber seeds, grit into a powder and add 1 teaspoon to a smoothie daily during your cleanse. Papaya. Sugary tropical fruit is typically not advised when dealing with parasites. However, this particular fruit has a strong ability to destroy many parasitic worms, including most intestinal worms and tapeworms. The most powerful part of the fruit is actually the seed. The University of Maryland Medical Center advises a mixture of honey and papaya seeds, which has been found to clear stools of parasites. If you are going to consume the fruit for its benefits, it is best to remove the skin and ferment in apple cider vinegar for 1 day. You will want to eat 8 ounces of the cultured papaya and drink 2 ounces of the brine for 4 days. Tweet quote, when it comes to papaya, the most powerful part of the fruit is actually the seed. What was that? A Shardari, MD, neurologist and practitioner of Ayurveda, I'm still hoping I'm pronouncing that right, suggests that this papaya smoothie recipe, take these seeds from an average sized papaya and grind them in a coffee grinder. Next, add a tablespoon of organic virgin coconut oil and about a cup of coconut milk and the rest of the papaya. Finally, blend until smooth. Drink the smoothie each morning for at least 7 consecutive days. Cloves contain the most powerful germicidal agent in the herbal kingdom, known as eugenol. It is also contains seriflin, which is a powerful antimicrobial agent. These components travel through the bloodstream, killing microscopic parasites and parasitic larvae in eggs. Cloves are tremendously effective in killing malaria, tuberculosis, chloria, scabies, and other parasites. Various bacteria and fungi, included Candida cloves, and also destroy all species of Shigella, I don't even know how to pronounce that. And I don't know how to pronounce that one either. It is best consumed with a black walnut hulls and wormwood. Now, here's the thing. Before I even get any farther into this article, I want to be able to stop this criminalized organization, the shadow government, for what it's been doing. But here's the main issue, okay? People who are subjugated to RNM, remote neural monitoring, in any way, this is including people who are not aware. This is a very dangerous situation because this is something. This is something that has infiltration of the mind. This is something that is controlling a person's actions through manipulation. And the more and more you're unaware, the more and more you're more likely to fall victim to manipulation. It's truly a dangerous game that we're dealing with when it comes to this, man. And this is what it is to them. Are tortured with these weapons, basically, it's nothing but a game to them. Although, when you look at it from a more legal perspective, everything that they're doing is a violation of basic human rights. It's a violation of the Constitution, and it's actually high treason, if anything, and so on and so forth. But I want to be able to act. I want to be able to put a stop to this. I want to be able to protest. I want to be able to get petitions signed, and sign a petition myself to help put a stop to this and overturn any type of law that they wanted to get passed that allows them to have this power that they have now. But how can you can't really do nothing like that if people are basically subjugated to this weapon. Right now, it's getting so dangerous that they're trying to keep people in their homes, man. And here's my advice to everyone. Look, if you go to sleep, you need to cut your Wi-Fi off, okay? They're already using manipulation on me to prevent me from even turning mine off whenever I go to sleep. But I'm gonna have to, from now on, I think I'm just gonna set a reminder to do so I don't forget. But this is a dangerous game that we're dealing with, man. And it's the game of life. And to us, it's not so much as a game, because any situation can make or break you. And from my point of what I've observed, the more and more you have, the more and more they can actually use that to destroy you. Just like this, as well as the more and more you react to. And the more and more you react to things, the more and more this stuff actually has a control over you. That's how it is able to do what it does. It's able to actually, literally, create a falsified sense of aggravation. It's able to create a falsified sense of depression. And the main danger of this is that people would actually, who are not aware, would take these feelings as their own and not realize that they are completely fabricated. It's not it's just the same thing even with fear. It can fabricate fear and literally project that emotion out onto you. I've since, thanks to the help of Brian too, thanks to the help of Vulcan Wolverine, thanks to the help of many other TIs out there, not just TIs, but people who have did their research, people who have found this information that I am sharing with you through my channels today and many days past, and which I also seek to still do in the future for as long as, however long I am still alive or on this earth. All of this information that I share is basically my thanks to them for all that they have done for us, because there are people out there who have done the research. There are people out there who have found many different methods to help many different TIs, many people who are suffering from these directed energy attacks. And the worst thing that you could possibly be in is in a state to where you don't even know what's going on, and you don't even know how to actually fight against it. At that point, you're at your most vulnerable, man. Here's the basis of how dangerous this weapon is. Like, naturally, you have to get evidence of your targeting, of course. But even doing that, like as far as pulling out a phone to film your targeting, even that is being used against you as a reaction. That's how in-depth this stuff is. You can do something as small as pull out your phone and start recording a perp. And they would use that against you. Not just with the weapon, but also out of an attempt to try to get you locked up, in terms to discredit you, in terms to blackmail you in any kind of way that they can think of, man. That's how in-depth the craziness of this stuff is. So, please, if you are hearing this, please be safe. Find ways to actually be able to get evidence, but at the same time, not to where it's putting yourself in harm's way, And understand that the more you react to something, the more they will continue to do that something that you're reacted to. Because that's the whole point of it. It's not so much as them being paid to stalk you, it's them being paid to get reactions from you. And these are just the methods and the tactics of which they will use to do so. That's what they're being paid to do. They're being paid per reaction. And if the target doesn't react, the more desperate they get. But you see, this is why you need a type of camera that is not connected to the internet. You need a camera to where they can't just hack into and delete the evidence or corrupt the evidence. You need a way to where you can actually have it recorded and be able to have it distributed. This is what I was doing. And I had my evidence was stolen. A large part of my evidence was stolen. was stolen, okay? It was stolen. Because I did it in a way to where they couldn't discredit me. I did it in a way to where it forced them in a state of fear, because that's evidence that I could have used to get asylum. Forget trying to sue these people for what they're doing, man. It's not that it's not possible. It's just that you need to understand. Even Brian too is even talking about this. Soon there's going to be a time where people won't eat, who are all blacklisted, who can't work at all. You won't even be able to cross state lines. So you're basically going to be subjugated to the same thing over and over. And the worst scenario with this is even being homeless in this, because you can't even leave this damn city. You can't even leave. Especially when you don't even have, or barely to any money to your name at all. That's the worst case scenario. Especially with the 5G that's going up, which is honestly believe that isn't 5G. That's 8G that they put it up there, man. That's gotta be that's definitely something more and more that they are installing this stuff in a lot of places to where they don't even want people to see them doing this. This is the type of behavior that I've noticed. It's stuff that they don't want you to see, because they don't want it out there to the public eye, and they don't want to they don't want the people who did it busted doing it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and continue with the article. And remember, the past video that I did, you need to basically follow that and do that as necessary and as often as you can. Do it in sessions or whatever. But the thing about that is, from what I've realized, like, they're starting to go to the feet now to try to get away from the frequency. So if you can have it to where, like, you got it playing like in all three locations, like right around the back and neck, and right in the midsection of the back, and the midsection of the back, and where the hips is at, like right underneath it, and then where the feet is, then you should be good to go. But this is basically killing them off via frequencies on the outside. But when you actually add something to your daily diet to be able to kill it off from the inside, then you're given a double dosage of killing this stuff off, which will actually allow you to actually be free from its effects much more faster. Now, in my situation, here's the thing. My situation is dangerous because even though I'm still working, even now, the place I work at is a den of gang stalkers, dude. It is a den of gang stalkers. Everyone there is involved. The workers, supervisors, the higher-ups, all of them. I'm not gonna name this specific location as to where, but you guys already know where I'm at. You already seen it in my past videos. You already know exactly where I'm at. But my situation is not any more safe than anyone else's. In a situation like that, man, they do a lot of covert BS that would actually land them in prison. No joke. Half the stuff I've seen would land them directly in prison over time, as an overtime basis as to what they've been doing. At this point, I'm not even concerned with suing anybody. I'm just concerned with just getting the heck out of the U.S., okay? That is my prime objective there, because I want to be able to fight for the freedom of the people who are still yet here. But at the same time, like, it's no telling. Just thinking about it, it's really no telling like how far this is going. Considering the situation with the president, on who he not Trump, but the one before, considering something as covert as that, I'm not saying it is true, but at the same time, I'm not going to say that it isn't, because what I do know is this, that when it came to President Barack Obama, all SEAL Team 6 members who supposedly caught and were or the ones who said who killed Osama bin Laden, all mysteriously ended up dead. The woman who had complete detailed information, who was the exact person who signed Barack Obama's birth certificate, died in a plane crash. Strange, isn't it? And the thing about Obama is that, well, his parents, he had adoptive parents. Okay? Adoptive. Not his real parents, adoptive parents. And apparently, this has gotten such a huge questioning that it basically forced them to put something out there on the media. Look, man, if something was generating that had to generate that much of a influence to do something, the fact that people didn't even catch on to it beforehand, it should let you know that yes, it was a cover-up to where information got out. So it's really no telling how far this corruption really goes. Does it go as far as the UN? I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. But I don't believe that they have complete influence over the UN, but I do believe that they may have informants in it. This is just my assumption, though. Nothing's all said in black and white. This is just my assumption of the situation here. But anyway, even with that said, let's continue. Raw pumpkin seeds. These are able to kill eggs, and they contain a natural fat that is toxic to parasite eggs. Okay, good. Actually, one thing I noticed that people would do, and I did this when I was a kid, we would actually put pumpkin seeds in the oven and bake them, and then we would just eat them that way. But I don't know if that's I don't know about that dealing with this, but apparently these are able to kill the eggs, and they contain a natural fat that is toxic to parasite eggs. Now that's what I'm talking about right there, because you see, this stuff like that will kill off the reproductive process of the parasites that they are lacing us with, to basically have this control with the remote energy weapons, basically. So, in pumpkin seeds has shown anti-parasitic activity since it has the ability to paralyze worms so they drop off the intestinal walls. Chinese science has used pumpkin seeds to treat acute schistosomas and tapeworm infestations. Really now? Really now? Chinese scientists is what you say. Anybody thinking what I'm thinking? Chinese scientists? Many parasite formulas contain pumpkin seed, but it doesn't do much in just a few capsules. You need half a cup a time to really work. Grinding a coffee grind add salads or smoothies. Wow. Chinese scientists, huh? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not even surprised that they would be messing.
Sorry everyone, I gotta try to fit enough time for all the videos on here. I'm just gonna skip ahead on this one so you can just see the listings. If you want to watch the rest, it's on the other channel or whatever, and you can just check it out there.
To where they can't. Of clean water, any activity that promotes rest. Remember to get plenty of. It also affects the reducing blood sugar levels and helping the body rid itself of toxins. Best of all, you can find these babies growing outside in the wild in abundance. I have a tree in my front yard that gives more than I can use. Your best bet is to take an alcohol tincture of it.
Also, when it comes to getting rid of these parasites, you gotta get sleep. That's the only way to do it. And I know they use sleep deprivation on you, but the thing about that is, if you play like a frequency to disrupt that, you should be able to work out getting some sleep. You have to get some sleep, even if it feels like you can't sleep. Just keep pushing yourself to try.
3 times a day. And with that stated, that's all it is into it. After that, this is just giving a diagram of everything that listed down. That's the fresh garlic, the cucumber seeds, which is in the middle, and as well as the benefits right beside it. There's the papaya, the clove, the raw pumpkin seeds, the ginger, the turmeric, and the green heels of black walnut, as well as the cayenne. I think I may have missed something because I don't think I've seen the peppers up there. Yeah, for some reason they didn't show the peppers.
Alright, going on to the next video.
Alright, this is my message to all fellow target individuals. The one thing that the enemy wants most, right? The one thing that they want most of all is for us to be fighting amongst ourselves. This is how their tactics go, because obviously they definitely don't want us collaborating with one another. They don't want us meeting up with one another. They don't want us forming a militia to put a stop to this. They don't want that. That's why so much is going on. They are afraid of that because, well, technically we outnumber them, and if the masses find out about what's going on, see what really is happening, then they would jump on board on our side. Year after day, after month, after every hour, after every second, after every millisecond, people have been lied to. You know, people have been lied to, giving these different impressions about a person or different ideas. But here's the thing. This is the general whole problem with society. The problem with society is that there are things happening amongst people at a young age. We are, as a child, when we're younger, we are exposed to these things due to irresponsible adults. This isn't just this can't just be our parents. This could be anybody, really. It could be anybody. And it's not to say that every parent out there is like that, because they're not. These general experiences that we are exposed to on a daily basis is what compromises our sense of character. And it is up to us to really identify this difference in between things. Otherwise, we grow closer and closer to losing our true selves if we allow ourselves to be dissolved into the fold, or in this case, be converted into the corruption that exists today, as well as it existed in past times. One of the things that they definitely do is divide and conquer. This is what they do when they try to aggravate a target or basically attack them if anything happens. This is what they do when certain information gets out that they don't want out. This is the basis of that. Because understand, what one person knows is one thing, but what many knows is a whole different story. Is one problem for them if they got someone who is growing aware of how to beat their technology. But it's another thing when you have many who are growing aware of how to beat their technology. One person can do, it may not be much, but it can do a hell of a lot. So you can only imagine how many, several individuals doing the exact same thing can, be capable of. They can actually achieve a lot more than what one person can achieve on their own. This situation, though, is completely unfair to a lot, man. It really is. It really is. And it's so messed up because during the days when I was growing up, I started to look at things from a perspective, and I was trying to figure out, like, wait a minute. People would just turn out to be going like, have a mental breakdown. They would, get into a sense of either high violence due to either a depression state or a high aggravated state. But my curiosity was to the point to where, what started that? What could have caused this? And I started to see patterns of things, cause and effect. And as a child, right, when I was a kid, I started to understand that, like, people would constantly, like, F with you. Kids would constantly pick with other kids. It would be a non-stop basis. You could tell them to stop, but they would keep doing it. They would keep nitpicking on a constant basis, and then until the person snaps. And then when they did snap, the person who's the perpetrator who did it, who instigated it, they would pretend like they did nothing wrong. And if they managed to get away with it, they would just do it again. This is the concept of what has caused so much conflict in the world, man. Because we're dealing with perpetrators like this, not just in the schools, not just in colleges, but also on a daily life in many different areas, man. And I believe it's like a disease. This behaviorism of perpetrations of nitpicking is more of a disease. And it's more on a constant basis than anything. It seems as though it's like it's grown into like an addictive drug, to where they just get off of really effing with people, and they have absolutely zero cares in the world for the negative effects of this. Here's how bad this is. People have committed suicide. People have gone on rampages. People have literally, relationships ended up being destroyed because of this type of perpetrator's acts upon an individual. Several bad things have come of this, and it seems like people out there just don't take it as serious as they should, and as a result, a lot of us who are like victimized by this have to deal with this especially if you're a fellow TI, you got to deal with this on a constant basis. There's no break from this. There's absolutely, literally, like, zero to no break from it at all. It's just a constant thing. What you need to learn is how to elevate yourself from this, because otherwise, if you can't do that, you're not going to be able to survive. I believe the Most High was looking out for me when I started to realize a lot of this from an early age. And it's because of me realizing this from a much earlier age that I was able to survive as long as I have. There's a reason why I was able to not be consumed by a lot of the dreams that they like to sell you. They like to say, yeah, go out there and get married. Yeah, go out there and do this, do that, and the other thing. But at the same time, some of those things that you would do would be good, but there's too much negative that they have influence into that. And then when they decide that, well, they don't want you around no more, they're going to use any little thing that they can to get to you. And let me tell you, many of these things are that, whether it be material, whether if you either have a girlfriend or you're married, they will use that against you. If not that, if they can't get you that way, then and you're not even trying to date, they'll flip the script and go on to another narrative, such as the same sex narrative, which is what they like to do. So if you're not dating, they'll use that as an excuse. But then when you do try to date, they'll actually go out of their way to prevent you from even dating said female. It's crazy, I know. Because first off, you can't call someone that if they're dating a female. You get what I'm getting here? Which is why any female who I have, in my personal experience, who I've came in contact with who is not a TI, it's not that the chemistry wouldn't be there, it's because of the negative outside influence that prevents it. That's what it is. So they'll be quick to call someone something, but at the same time, they'll be quick to try to prevent that person from living a life of, living their natural life, of what's natural to them, which in this case, what's natural to me was, well, when it comes to dating, would be dating a female. But it seems like they don't have that visionary aspect. So here's how I see the situation. I don't see this as a vision coming from me. I don't see this projection of judgment coming from me at all, and I don't see it coming from God. No, this projection of judgment is coming from a random individual, from people who just have an interest in me, as well as there are people behind the scenes who have an interest in you. And what their dark desires are infested with. Seems like these are the visions that they want to put into play, so they're gonna do any means necessary to see that fit. This is basically someone who is drunk. Basically, whoever is responsible for this is obviously a very toxified and very destructive individual who is drunk with power. I don't think that they're in the current status of even being an active employment in the government, but I believe they're mostly in a more of a retirement state, to where they can actually be more behind the scenes doing this, so that people won't see them doing what they're doing, making the deals, making the judge, meeting up and all this type of stuff. No, this is someone who's got to be retired doing this. And they have influence on the inside of people who are actively employed in the government currently, and that's how they're doing a lot of this stuff behind the scenes. The way I see it, when someone tries to call me something, when someone starts to say that I'm something, the way I see it, look, that's a visionary judgment coming from you. That's coming from your mindset. Those are your words leaving your mouth. Therefore, that's the projectional aspect of what you're trying to project onto me, but I never told you to think that way. I never put those thoughts in your head. You thought those thoughts yourself. And that's how you gotta look at it. So that's the general scenario, and forget my language, but the best way for me to basically point this out is basically you gotta have a mindset of just not giving a damn. You can't give a damn about these gang stalkers. You need to get your evidence, yes, but you gotta understand, you can't be reacting to every little thing, because every little thing that you react to is going to put a vulnerability out. They're gonna even try as much as they can on me, but when someone says something negative to me, the way I see it, I admire honesty, okay? I truly admire honesty, because I don't admire deception, because most of this corruptiveness has been built on nothing but both deception and lies. That's why we're at where we're at now. You ain't gonna get nowhere like that, man. You're not. None of us are. Even in my situation, the stuff that I got now, the stuff that's happening now, to me, that's just a means to an end. Do I view materialistic things as a necessity? Absolutely not. I only view, I only view them as a convenience and nothing more. That's it. When it comes to a job, nothing but a convenience. It's not a necessity, it's a convenience. You don't have to have a job just to live, okay? You don't. You can literally go out there in the wilderness, build a cabin, as long as you got the right survival techniques, it is possible to do this for anybody, but you got to be willing to do it. But am I advising anybody to do it? Absolutely no. In the end, it's your choice, and you need to basically view it as that. There's a time and place for everything, and one thing, because I really don't have much time, but I wanted to make this quick. One thing you need to realize is that a lot of these tactics that they use, I'm not going to go in depth about it, because, as you know, they'll use it. And that's how they do. You see, whatever I'm saying now, they're trying to keep an ear out, and they're going to watch this anyway. They try to say, oh, okay, well, like, he's going to react to that. Let's go ahead and use that. You see what I'm getting at? if you mention something in the video, if you talk about something in the video, if you do any of this stuff, then they're going to use that against you. And the more and more they have to use against you, the more and more you react to, the more and more vulnerable you make yourself. And that's a very dangerous situation. I didn't get what Brian, when I first saw Brian 2's channel, I didn't really understand like what he meant, or not really what he meant, but how in depth of what he meant. And then I started to understand what it was when I actually did it. And let me tell you, it's one thing to have the gang stalkers be silent and just be doing their perpetrator's acts, but it's a whole nother scenario when they literally say he's not reacting right next to you. When they said that, I'm like, no way. So what I was doing was actually working, and they had to kick their tactics up a notch because of it wasn't working. I wasn't reacting. I wasn't contributing to what they were doing. And you see, this is how it's done. Just in basically, this is just basic, a basic nature of just not giving a damn. You don't have to react to every little thing. You don't have to give them that sense of acknowledgement. The best thing you can do to these gang stalkers, to these perpetrators, is ignore them, because guess what? They get paid off your reaction. That's what it is. They get paid based off your reaction. I thought they get paid off per picture. I thought they get paid off to stalk you, but no, it's to get your reaction. That's precisely what it's for. It's to get your reaction, because when they get your reaction from you, they can report back to what that reaction was, and it gives them RNN data for that AI supercomputer. I don't have much time on this thing. I've got about a good 2 minutes left, probably like 1 now. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. But this is just an in-depth excuse me. Okay, this is going to be a short collaborational vid that I wanted to do for all the research. Not really my research, but just the stuff that I found out that other people researched, and then I just collaborated it all together for you guys to understand the process when it comes to what they're using. If you've been on my guide channel, you'll see that
better yet, I would play the rest of this, but that's going to take a while, and I don't really have a lot of time left. So here's the information you need to know that's in this vid. As you can see there at the title, it says Trauma Recovery Binaural Beats. Link in description. You can find it there on my other channel. You need to listen to that because what that's going to do is actually heal those impulses of trauma that you have. And understand, it's trauma-based mind control, right? So that's what that's doing. Also, the tip that I had in the video was that what I had did was I basically broke up a piece of garlic half, and then I had it in my ears, but not like I didn't like push them in there. I had them just like hanging off the tip of the outside of the ear canal, and the nanotech did not like that. Now, before I did that, I had a thought to where maybe like, because I had water with this too. I had water mixed with the garlic halves, and I had that soaking for nearly half the day I was out working. Now, I thought about maybe like since garlic's kind of natural, I figured I'd pour a drop or two in my ear canal to see what that would do, since there's nanotech in there and nanotech fibers, right? This is what happened. Before I even did it, they started sending signals to have these nanotech larvae or bugs or whatever to exit the ear canal, and this stuff was traveling down my face. I could literally feel this, which means they know that stuff would have killed it off. So they were trying to save these little bastards from being from me getting rid of them. The fact that they would have to do that means that yes, you can kill this stuff off, and that's where the signal is coming from, the ear canal. They're building fibers inside the ear canal, and that's how they're able to connect to you. The reason why that they don't need to just lace these nanotech bugs on you just to get to you, how they can get to you just about anywhere on the planet, is because you've already been infected with it. The vape trails. If you've seen my recent vids on my guide channel a while back, you'll see that there was a female researcher who did research on chemtrails, and what she found was there were organisms in these chemtrails that were reconstructing themselves. And that's what's with the stuff that you're breathing, that's what you're breathing, and that's what's in your system today. Okay? That's how they're able to connect to you, because they've already been since infected you with it. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here because I'm hitting like 51 minutes and it's going to take a bit for this to upload, and I got to go to work today. So I send both of my love, my prayers out to everyone, and I hope you all are staying safe in these dark times. This is MM. I'm over and out.